Alright, how's everybody doing? We've had donuts, we've had chicken wings, we're gonna go for spare ribs. So, how's everyone doing? My beautiful spare ribs. Barbecue, definitely a Chinese style barbecue, works well. So, week April 14th to 16th it's been shown. So, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We still have our shoulder drivers. For Tuesday, we have some hip opening. Once again, do them, they're important. Now, we have bar muscle ups. So, in terms of this, everyone 5 reps, 3 position drills. As you can see, these have been linked so everybody can see them. On level 3, 2, and 1, the only difference between them is the fact of where your ability is. What I want to see from these type of things is quality over quantity. Think about how the movement relates to you. Think about how the movement actually works. Everyone's like, oh, look, how am I ever going to get a box muscle up, or how am I ever going to do this? It's like, this is how we start. It's the basics of that. For those who can do it, this is a product of how do we actually ingrain the better habit in terms of, instead of chicken winging, is equal tension throughout the bar. For instance, I did a strict one there the other day and I was favoring my left over my right. Shout out to Graham also being there to watch it. The big idea in terms of that is that I was favoring my shoulder because obviously the injury type of thing, so I automatically went to the other side. Most people don't do that from an injury perspective, but do it because they feel comfortable on one side, so they pull obviously on one side because that feels stronger. So in terms of the bar muscle, it's that equal tension, and actively learning how to put yourself behind the bar is actively going to get you up onto the bar, where everyone tries to pull into the bar too quickly, and hence where we run into issues. So the whole point is the knee to chest plus 1 muscle up is trying to drive you to the point in terms of how do you get your knees to your chest, then kick, drive behind the bar. The box jumping chest to bar plus a bar muscle up is going to teach you not only how that we pull into the bar, and is what we need for the chest to bar, but also how we pull into the bar and around the bar. So you can see that each level 1, 2, and 3, depending where you're at, is going to be teaching you something. In terms of the kip swings, once again, it is not hanging from your shoulder blades. It's actively being tense in that position and using it to open and everything. So you can see how our pull-ups are going to be helping a lot of these positions. The stronger your pull-up is, the better you can be. Strength is a predicator for skill, especially in CrossFit. So if you're finding that there's a certain area that you need to work on, that's ideally where you should be spending some time, especially outside the gym, trying to work on that specific strength part. Predominantly, it's always going to be a bodyweight strength is going to be the biggest predicator on the bar in terms of, can you do pull-ups, can you do straight pull-ups, can you do multiple reps, can you do a strict chest to bar type of thing, is going to help you get there. In terms of a beautiful workout, we have a heavy hitter today. So you can see that 4 runs for time, 8 alternating dumbbell hang split snatch. You read that right, heard that right. It's a split snatch. We're going back to old school CrossFit on that type of thing. It's heavyweight, and the reason why it's heavy is that split allows you to actively do a heavyweight. This is going to test a lot of people's coordination, so that's going to be a big thing from that. And then you can see we go into toes to bar, own bar muscle ups. Now from that, obviously the weight is meant to be relatively heavy. The toes to bar, I would say for a lot of people, 2 to 3 sets is going to be where they are going to come out on that. And then your bar muscle ups, your scaling options, obviously box bar muscle ups in there. If you don't want to do box bar muscle ups on there, go for something like your jumping chest to bar. And that will be a nice easy way to kind of go over it. The idea obviously in terms of this is we're heavily hitting the shoulders in 2 different ranges. We're doing more of a semi-dynamic into complete dynamic and full body, and then we keep in a dynamic side onto that toes to bar side of things. Now obviously for those who don't have all the reps, the same thing applies everywhere. Scale appropriately. I want to see the majority of the gym actively hitting between 18 to 13 minutes. I don't want to see people hitting the time cap the whole time. If this is your one workout of the week where you're going to go, hey look, I'm going to hit the time cap, perfect, go in, smash it. But the idea is we don't get better by keep smashing the end time caps and going, oh look, I only got 2 rounds instead of 4. It is meant to be a hard workout. It is going to be nice and taxing, but it also gives you a nice time to play with the skill and learn something new and actively integrate that into the system. So spend a little bit of time trying to find that skill that works for you, whether it be reducing the bar muscle ups by 1 each round, so that way you end on a lower number on the last round, whether that be driving down the bar muscle ups automatically down to 2 if you have them, box bar muscle ups, chest to bar is perfect. Toes to bar, once again, If you're always doing hanging knee raises, try a different part. Do a couple of toes to bar, then hanging knee raise, do higher positions. What you can do then is also do some V-ups. You can do lying toes to bar. It's change and variations is a big thing to the progression. Tuesday, we're going for a nice heavy set. So heaviest across 5x5, beautiful old school, typical starting strength side of things. Though I'm not going to talk much about Mark Rippetoe on that and my issues on that side, but still a very good idea for us to kind of get in a little bit heavier load across sets and kind of build to that kind of nice peak one. So you can see that we're always building to a peak one, so we have a little bit of understanding of where we can then push in the future when we do a little bit lighter sets. Procainamide, so a beautiful antiarrhythmic drug. Every 2 minutes for 6 sets. So we have 5 box clear overs and 50 double unders. You can see there's a similarity with the box and everything. This is an explosive workout. Not gonna lie, it is a taxing workout. It is going to be tough. Once again, the clear overs are going to be mentally draining for a lot of people. Whether you want to take a little bit of 1-2 step over, or you take a couple of steps and a run and jump, the idea of this is complete and utter explosivity, right? You're going to have to actively create explosivity to get over the box, and then you're going to have to learn how to control so that way you can get your double unders, which requires mini explosiveness as well as repetitive motion. This is a calf workout. This is going to require a little bit, so get yourself into the position to do it. Everyone can do it. You'll be more than capable. For those that aren't going to be doing it from a box, I've given you the option. Where did I put it in here? I put it somewhere. There. If you need to place a PVC onto plates, so what you do is you take a couple of plates, put a plate on, put a PVC pipe over it, and you jump over it so that you still have this same simulation of jumping over and clearing a position. Our ability to be athletic in the sport and athletic overall is our ability to explode, repeatedly explode, but also by ensuring that it's not just the same explosion, which is for a lot of us up and down, up and down. It is having that ability to vary your planes of motion, and that's where we're going to run this side. Your beautiful Wednesday is just a nice easy snatch complex to power snatch into pocket, so high pocket squat snatch. Are we doing in terms of can you generate force very quickly, and then can you take that from a fatigue point of view and keep that same position into the bottom? So that's going to be a nice one. Another antiarrhythmic drug coming in here. In 5 minutes, how far can you get? The nice thing about this is for a lot of people, it's going to do a 2 hang power snatch and 2 overhead forward lunges. We have, obviously, from that position, your shoulders have been warmed up from your snatch complex. Your snatch has been drilled in, so you're going to be in a position. It is 5 minutes. It's a quick sprint. You can see I've kind of given them modified progressions here, so someone can kind of modify the load or type of thing. One thing I would say, and here's at the bottom here, if you truly are going to read everything in there, if you break up your sets and when you to say a little bit of the higher rounds, a nice way of doing this is that you early break. So say you have 10 to do, you break it 8, then breathe, then go do your 2 on your power snatch, and then go into your forward lunge. And what that allows you is that you don't have to do an extra snatch to do an overhead lunge. It just works out better. We do some of those things when it comes to like DT, which will be coming up in a couple of weeks anyway, which is trying to figure out how can you not overstimulate your muscles too much so that fatigue goes in. So this is going to be a nice one in terms of overhead shoulder stability, but also your ability to hold on to overall fatigue. Dun, dun, dun. That's it all for today.